I'm Jeff Fritz with SoundStage.com, and I'm joined today by Alan Goodwin, the founder and president of Goodwins High End, just outside of Boston, Massachusetts, in Waltham. Did I pronounce Waltham correctly, Alan? I was having a little trouble with that earlier.
Close enough.
Okay. So, Alan, I wanted to chat with you today. You know, Goodwin's High End. I think actually I was thinking back on it, and it was 2009 the last time I was there. So quite a few years ago. But one of the largest, most successful high-end retailers in the United States. And I wanted just to chat with you a little bit today. And the first thing I wanted to ask you is, how has Goodwin's handled the lockdown? Have you guys been able to still serve customers? What does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, well, personally, I was incredibly busy for the past 2.5 months. We opened up officially a week or so ago, a week and a half ago. But during that time, we were still here answering the phone, answering emails, taking shipping in, shipping out. Quite frankly, I feel incredibly fortunate because I think a lot of small businesses are not going to make it or are going to have real problems, but we're not.
Okay.
The reason is because, well, twofold. One, we're a national dealer. I've been around long enough and carved a tiny little niche out. So, we have customers all over all 50 U.S. states. And whether we're doing demos in the showroom or not, we're still getting phone calls and emails from all over.
So since you guys have been reopened, you said about a week and a half, have you guys had customers coming in, listening to components and to systems?
A few. It hasn't been hordes of people. But the other thing that was really fortunate is, some of our manufacturers couldn't deliver in a timely fashion. But I personally have been working on a number of acoustical room projects, which is one of my personal specialties. So to do it at a reasonably high level takes a lot of time and focus. So that's why I've been really busy.
Okay. Well, speaking of rooms and acoustics, you guys have some of the best rooms in high-end audio retailing there at Goodwins, and I've experienced some of the sound systems myself, and which brings me to my next question. I was wondering if you could just kind of walk us through the rooms that you have there and what equipment you have set up right now, or at least available to those rooms, and just kind of let us in on what, if someone were to come to Goodwins, what all could they hear?
Well, we have a large store here, so we probably have 6,000 to 7,000 square feet. We have 7 demonstration rooms. One is a very small room for headphones. Then we have 3 high-end audio rooms and 3 home theater rooms. And you'll remember, Jeff, you were here. If you walk down the hallway, on the right-hand side are the 3 high-end audio rooms.
Right.
On the left-hand side are the 3 home theater rooms. So, we're mostly known for high-end audio because I've been doing it for 46 years, believe it or not.
Wow.
I've owned a brick and mortar retail store for 46 years, which is my whole adult life, basically. And but I also love film. I love great movies, so I also started doing home theater back in the 80s, or early 80s, back before it was a thing. But applying the same high-end audio standards to home theater is how you arrive at a high-performance home theater picture and quality of audio. But the other thing is that there are wonderful concerts on Blu-ray that you can play, and it transports you in a different way. So I'm into the whole thing, but most of what we do is high-end audio.
And so that's the 3 rooms on the right, and if I'm not mistaken, the last room on the right is the big room. Is that right?
That's right. My favorite room.
Now, when I was there, this may bring back some memories. Of course, you've had so much gear in and out of there through the years, but when I was there, I remember being able to compare the original Rockport Altair with the
Oh, yeah.
Magico M6. And,
Oh,
I was really impressed with your staff because they allowed me and my buddy to A/B those speakers, and they pushed them and pulled them and moved them into the correct positions and made sure that they were just perfect, and then handed us the remote and enabled us to listen to those speakers back to back. And I was so impressed that you could actually take two massive speakers like that, and your staff was willing to let us listen to those products back to back, and it was just a phenomenally enlightening experience hearing those speakers. And I guess that's something you guys pretty much do all the time.
it's what we do. And, you know, some people are sort of into making sales with a salesy approach. My approach is here, you listen to these two speakers or these three speakers one at a time and tell me which one you like. And I like to sit back and let people listen as much as they want, and then they tell me what speaker they like best, rather than me, like some people, well, such and such is the best. I don't work that way with most people, unless they pin me down and say, what would you buy yourself?
Okay. So what's in
Try
the big room right
those
now?
questions.
Give us the rundown.
Right now, what we have, well, speakers, as you know, we have Magico, Rockport, Avalon, Audiophysic, Martin Logan, DeVore. For electronics, we have Spectral, Some Audio, Nagra, Griffin, um, uh, Octave, and Rogue for tubes. And
Okay.
then for digital, we have DCS and Berkeley and other things for DACs. And then for music servers, or whatever you want to call them, we have Inuus, the Rune Nucleus, Orender, Beatus, some other things. And for turntables, we have the new Basis uh, Transcendence with the Super Arm 12.5. And let me tell you, that is an unbelievably good turntable. And we also have the one step down, which I think is the best buy in ultra high-end turntables, and that's the Basis Inspiration with the Super Platter and Super Arm 9. And then we have, I think we have about a dozen turntables on display. So everything from modestly priced right on up.
Okay. I
We sell a lot
remember
of,
I remember when I was there, I believe the speakers, the Rockports and Magicos I mentioned, I believe they were powered by spectral amplifiers at that point. Do you guys still have spectral in the room? You mentioned spectral, but you still have their amplifiers in the room?
yeah. hmm
Okay.
And they're very
And
popular.
as far as the larger speakers that you have there right now, what are the kind of the big guns, the speakers that would most impress somebody walking through the door?
Well, I think in the under $100,000 price range, which is where 99.9% of people buy speakers, we have the M3 from Magico.
Okay.
We have the Cygnus from Rockport, and we have the Avalon Aurora. So those are the sort of three big guns, if you will, that we have. Then if you want more bass, we can put the Magico Q Sub 15 subwoofer in. That's a powered subwoofer, so you can get more full range.
Okay.
Um, the two speakers that we don't have here right now are the big brothers in the Magico line, the Rockport line. So the Rockport Lyra we had here for a while, and that's a wonderful speaker. And the M6 is also a wonderful speaker. So for those people that want, the best, money no object, then we can either arrange a demo here or at the factory. You may know Magico just introduced the M9.
Yes, I saw the press release. Quite something.
So
let me ask you this, Alan. You mentioned that 99% of your buyers are going to buy speakers under $100,000 a pair. In the past few years, I've been reviewing speakers in the $40,000-$50,000 range. More and more of those products. I kind of feel like you can really get a more than just a taste of the best, but really a large percentage of what these companies can offer in terms of fidelity. In that price range, you don't really have to go up to the $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 a pair. Do you find that that's true, and do you find that there's a lot of bang for the buck in the $50,000, $60,000, $40,000 in those price areas?
Yeah, unfortunately, I find that 50, 60, 70, 80 is where you get something really good. I haven't found anything for 40 that was quite in the league. But remember, I'm completely spoiled. I mean, I think most people are buying speakers between, say, 20 and 50,000 for a pair.
Okay.
And we do have some nice speakers between, say, 10 and 20,000 a pair. And then we have speakers under 10 grand.
Okay.
But if you were to say, where does the real high end start? By my ear, I would say you're a little over 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now another buying trend, at least in terms of what we're seeing from the manufacturers, what they're producing, we're seeing a lot of integrated amplifiers, and the integrated amplifiers are going up, more and more, higher and higher in price these days. But you're seeing really exalted performance from some of these integrated amplifiers. Have you seen from your customer base, is there been more of a desire for integrated amplifier products, or do you see it still as kind of the gateway into the real high-end stuff?
Well, I'll tell you, we have been selling some integrateds all along, and just in different price ranges. But I've seen more action in the $10,000 to $20,000 region for integrateds over, say, the past couple of years. Specifically the Griffin, Diablo 300, the new Vinny Rossi. So yeah, I think integrateds are very attractive. But if you're really going for it, you're still going to get a separate amp, separate preamp, or separate mono amps and separate preamp.
Okay, that makes sense, and I agree with that too. I think I still have a separate bass system, and but then again, we do have writers that specialize in high-end integrateds, and it seems to be a busy market. Well, talking about sources for a minute, I know that you're a big analog guy, but you also mentioned some music servers, and the streaming side seems to be growing more and more. When you have a high-end customer come in and they really want to set up just a ridiculously good system, are you finding that your buyers are looking for more than one source? Are they gravitating more towards analog or digital, or do they want both?
Everybody's different. We're far from a cookie cutter operation. Everything is individualized. So some people, they're streaming Tidal or Qobuz. Some people are playing locally stored files, a RIP CD collection or high-res downloads or both. Some people have records at home, so they have a wonderful turntable. Some people have a CD library, and, the CDs are the simplest thing. You take and put it in and push play. It's
right.
Low tech. Turntables is a little more rigor involved with record cleaning, which we're really into. Good record cleaners. We have the audio system deck. That's a wonderful machine for anybody who's serious about vinyl. So some people are doing one, some people are doing two, some people are doing records, CDs, and a music server with a separate DAC.
Okay. So if you had a customer come in today and they're looking at various products that you sell, are you seeing that the manufacturers are they actively shipping? Are you finding that some of the manufacturers are a little behind or having some supply chain issues? Are you able to get in products that people order these days?
Yes, we're getting in products. Sometimes it's a little slower, but yeah, we're getting everything in. A lot of our products are made in the U.S., so sometimes their supply chains have been impacted. But yeah, every company that we sell has been able to deliver over the past few months. In fact, we get stuff in every day, really, through the door, shipments from manufacturers.
So I appreciate you taking time, Alan, and I do want to ask you one other question that I've been asking everyone that I've been talking to recently on SoundStage Talks, and that is, share with us, one or two of your recent, favorite listening experiences, maybe something there at the store or a piece of music or both that's really caught your attention lately.
Oh, sure, that's easy. So very recently I sat down in my big room, the room you were listening in, and the store was closed. It was after hours, and I put on the Beethoven Violin Concerto with Schneiderhan and Joachim. It's a famous recording from the early 60s. And boy, it just transported me. It was just so beautiful. And actually, the system was so good, it sounded better than I thought that recording would sound. But I was really transported by the music. It's a little on the romantic side of interpretation. And then the other listening experience that really stands out was I was listening to Elgar's Enigma Variations, recorded by Keith Johnson for Reference Recordings. And that recording is just awesome. It's so good. And when you put it on a good system, it's just amazingly real and beautiful. So
last question, that you brought up that you were in your big room. When you really want to relax and just kick back and listen to something, is that the room that you typically go into, or might we find you in any of the Goodwins rooms listening to or watching a film?
Oh, that's the room I always listen in. Well, almost always. That's where we have our best equipment. I love the room. I love the room acoustics, and just the feeling of the room is just so nice.
So, it really is, and I remember that experience like it was yesterday myself. And has that room changed any since I was there in 2009? Have you guys updated anything, or is it still pretty much, if it's not broke, don't fix it?
Yeah, we got in a different kind of tube trap, different sizes, and played around with the corners. Really, you can tune the room for an individual speaker if you really want to. That's what's cool about that room, is there's some tunability. But the other thing that I thought I'd mention is I was listening to, I don't know if you can see this or not, this is a DVD of a wonderful performance from some of the two greatest violinists ever, Oistrakh and Menuhin. And yeah, I was watching that. Such an amazing performance from 1958. Maybe not an audiophile thing, but wow, for music, once again, fantastic.
That's awesome. Well, Alan, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And I know that you have customers coming in from all over the world. Your store is pretty well known out there, and particularly for the guys that buy the super high end stuff. And I hope to get back up there myself sometime, hopefully in the near future, and have another listen to your big system in your store. But thank you so much, and I wish you the best of luck, and I hope Goodwin's high end continues to make it through the pandemic with little or no issue, and you guys keep selling equipment.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff. It's been a real pleasure, and you're welcome anytime.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay, talk to you.